history of the Taliban. The Taliban, which means students in the Pashto language, emerged in 1994 around the southern Afghan city of Kandahar. It was one of the factions fighting a civil war for control of the country following the withdrawal of the Soviet Union and subsequent collapse of the government. It originally drew members from so-called mujahideen fighters who, with support from the United States, repelled Soviet forces in the 1980s. Within the space of 2 years, the Taliban had gained sole control over most of the country, proclaiming an Islamic emirate in 1996 with a harsh interpretation of Islamic law. Following the Sept 11, 2001 attacks in the United States by Al-Qaeda, US-backed forces in the north swept into Kabul in November under the cover of heavy US airstrikes. The Taliban melted away into remote areas, where it began a 20-year-long insurgency against the Afghan government and its Western allies. The Taliban's founder and original leader was Mullah Muhammad Omar, who went into hiding after the Taliban was toppled. What is the Taliban's ideology? During its 5 years in power, the Taliban enforced a strict version of Sharia law. Women were predominantly barred from working or studying, and were confined to their homes unless accompanied by a male guardian. Public executions and floggings were common, Western films and books were banned, and cultural artifacts seen as blasphemous under Islam were destroyed. The Taliban said earlier this year it wanted a genuine Islamic system for Afghanistan that would make provisions for women's and minority rights, in line with cultural traditions and religious rules. There are, however, signs the group has already started to prohibit women from working in some areas. The Taliban, international recognition. Only 4 countries, including neighbor Pakistan, recognized the Taliban government when it was in power. The United States and the United Nations imposed sanctions on the Taliban, and most countries show little sign it will recognize the group diplomatically. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said earlier this month Afghanistan risks becoming a pariah state if the Taliban takes power and commits atrocities. Other countries such as China have begun cautiously signaling they may recognize the Taliban as a legitimate regime. Thank you.